Hi and welcome to Raven and Rose. I'm Sam and this is the deconstruction of my Medusa headpiece. So these are the parts that I used to create it. I got these lovely little buds. I think I had to buy 2 pieces with them all on, and then these are from Halloween headbands that have little UV lights in them, and then I bought the flowers at the same time as the little buds because I thought they'd go well together for something. I used this kind of sponge to make my little snaky heads. I carved them into the rough shape and then slit a little mouthpiece and made the teeth out of polymorph beads and stuck them in with some hot glue. I used a lot of hot glue in this video. So these are all the snakes I used. I bought them from Amazon and just spray painted them gold. Every little bit of jewellery I had in my collection that I thought might match, I used. This is the headpiece that I made from wire, so it's the basic structure, and I formed the main headpiece out of one piece of wire, and then as you can see the lines that join the back to the front, they're little separate pieces of wire, and they're where I wanted the hair to come through in each section. So you can see I've got one big front section that goes around, and then I formed the back piece as well. Now these are the little wires that I made to stick onto that main headpiece, and you can see here how I show where I connect it. You can choose where you want it to go. Then I hot glued it and then I duct taped it because I didn't want it moving anywhere. You can see that then I used little springy, snaky-like shapes from the headbands to go onto the wires so that I could mould them into any shape I wanted. So this is how the finished article actually looked. So I'm basically showing you backwards how I made it. So I'm going from the very last thing I did back through to the first thing I did. So off with the flowers and those beautiful blossoming long bud things. I thought they looked kind of snaky, like flowers turning into snaky kind of things, which was the theme of the headpiece. And then all the little jewellery bits that I draped on and around. It's extremely difficult to pull things off of hot glue gun once it's dried. So it takes a bit of effort, but I can guarantee you it took a lot more effort to build it in the first place. So yeah, I'm going through and just taking all the little jewellery pieces off before I move on to the next step. One was giving me a fight. Some are worse to get off than others. Tiny dainty chains are quite difficult. Then I am taking the gold snakes off, which were much easier to get off because they had glued on with very little glue because they were so lightweight. Like I say, I bought these from Amazon. I bought a couple of packs and I laid them down and sprayed them on a pizza board, which I've since seen someone else do, so it just must be yeah, you got snakes to spray, need to get pizza. So I always try and save as much as I can from every headpiece when I'm undoing it, because then if I have a look coming up that I've already got things for, it costs me so much less than buying everything all over again. There are some headpieces that I wish I could keep, but I can't keep everything. So to hide the joint between little sponge snake heads and the wire and the little the little headband stretchy things, I put little rose petals around to hide the joint. but they're well stuck on, and I have to pull very hard to get the wire to come out of the back of the snake's head, because that's where I attached it, and I needed to just loosen that up so that I could pull the stretchy fabric out and then cut the snake's heads off. I did cut myself 2 times on the same finger while I was doing this step. And then unrolling some of the hair, I rolled around some of the pieces with wire in. I also added some that didn't have wire in, so the hair is kind of integrated into the snakes again to give the illusion of hair turning into snakes. So I'm pulling this forward to show you how I attached the headband onto the wig, and then I glued on all these little pieces of the meshy fabric from the headbands without wire in, just to give it some extra volume, extra oomph, and some extra interest of other colours coming through with the white wig. So again, I'm saving as many of these as I possibly can. So you can see there how I sectioned the hair. I just had half of it up at the top on the crown, and then the other half I let fall down so that I could curl it and have it hanging down one shoulder. Now I'm trying to remove the flexible hose-like material from the wired pieces that I glued it down to, so that I could then mould it into different curves in different directions. You have to be more careful this way because obviously you're cutting around a wire to take it off, but putting it on was super easy. I just popped a little bit of hot glue gun down at the base of the wireframe and glued those suckers right down. So here I'm showing you how I sectioned the front part of the wig. Each of the little rods that go from the front of the metal frame to the back of the metal frame was for a section of hair to come through. I did plait each section of hair first so that it would go through much easier. So I'm pulling them through those sections now. Separating the wig from the wireframe. You can see the polystyrene headpiece that I've been using is well loved, well used, and it just got in my way now, so that was out of the way quick as a flash, so I could carry on taking those sections out. And that front section was still glued onto the wig, which I had to cut off. The wig I think will be reusable, so I've kept that. It may be usable for another thing. I could cut the hair off it and use it for something else, I don't know. But I was left with big globs of glue in it, it will take a lot of effort to get it back to its original condition, and I have a great big hole in the top, so I'm just going to keep that as spare hair really. So this is how it looked originally before I deconstructed it. I hope you liked the video, and thank you for taking the time with me, and I'll see you very soon.